Hi everyone, Cassie here from Promostone, and today I'd like to talk to you about piping elastic. Piping elastic also goes by the name shiny lip elastic, and as the name implies, when it's sewn, you look like you have a piping edge at the top. Piping edge elastic is not brushed on the back, but it is pretty soft and it has a good stretch to it. Piping elastic can be sewn in several different ways. Probably the one that you have seen. I don't have a pair of panties to show you. I have a bra that I've sewn. You sew it very similarly to Pico edge elastic in two passes, where you start with the piping edge at the inside and then you fold it back and top stitch, and then you end up with what looks like a shiny piece of piping, except it's elastic. It can also be sewn flat, which is how I like to sew my panty elastics, and just in one pass with the elastic on top of your fabric, and then it's just zigzagged along the edge. So let's take a look at a couple different ways for sewing piping edge elastic. For this first method, I'm going to sew it so that only the piping edge is exposed on the right side of the panty. I have my machine set to a zigzag. I'm using 3 width and 2 length. I've already sunk my needle down into the fabric. And when you sew this, you can see right here, or maybe it's harder to see since it's white, this is the piping edge of the elastic, and you don't want to sew over the piping edge. You'll want to sew right up against it. So I'm sewing with zigzag here, and I'm going to, slightly stretch this. Your pattern will tell you how much you need to stretch, and just be sure not to go over into the piping part. Of course, if you're sewing a garment for real, you'll want to back stitch at the beginning and the end. And see, now if we just fold back, you have only the piping part of the elastic showing. And now we're going to sew another pass of zigzag, and you can use still a regular zigzag stitch, or you can use a 3-step zigzag. I'm going to widen my regular zigzag here to about 3.5. Put my needle down. And you'll want to, you can feel, excuse me, where the edge of the elastic is, and you'll want to sew near the edge of the elastic. See, my machine likes to get stuck at the beginning here. Just pull on your thread ends just slightly, help it to get going. And there you have it, piping edge elastic. And now as a second method for sewing the piping edge elastic, I'm going to apply it flat directly to the right side of the fabric. And to make it a little bit different than the previous method, I'm going to use a 3-step zigzag. I have my zigzag adjusted to a 4 width, and let's change the length to maybe 1.4. Here we go. Hold on to your thread tails when you start. And you want to sew right up against, but not over, the piping part of the elastic. If you have a wider piping elastic, you'll want to sew more towards the inner edge than the middle. You want the inner edge to be pretty secure against the fabric. And there we have it, piping edge elastic. If you have any questions about sewing piping edge elastic, leave me a comment below. Bye for now.